Hi, we are going to be looking at together, you and I, when I say we, um, ICE and its future in America. Just all with the cards. This is just for entertainment purposes only. You know, sometimes it's on point, and other times I'm just not always getting the message. So let's see what we get. All right. They're causing so much damage. So we don't want that to continue. It's becoming more and more dangerous for everyone. So, what I want to see is the future. Already, I'm hearing of um, employees of ICE not in, wanting to come back to work because the it's working, the obstruction and I think the cruelty in which they're going and doing, I think on a deeper level is affecting their psyches. I really do. So there are people that even despite the pay and all of that, that uh, are beginning to find it a less than appetizing job. And that's what I've heard through news sources. So that was kind of surprising to me because a lot of these people doing it, I don't know if it's necessarily that because they've developed a conscience, but I do think that the subconscious might be winning and coming up, and just also all the drama around that when they got to take people away. And I think it is affecting perhaps a kernel of empathy that might be left. At least I hope so. Awful job. Well, we'll take a look. We'll see what the cards are gonna share. Make sure my gain is up. There we go. Turn that up a little bit. All right. So, what do we need to know about the future of ICE in America? The immigration Gestapo? Is it going to decline? Is ICE, is it going to decline? I mean, it's declined in already because Trump has affected it. But let's just see what the cards are going to share. What spirit through cards will share. And through my flawed human filters. So just remember, if I don't get something right, it's on me as a human faulty filter. Sometimes I get things right. And sometimes I'm off a little bit. It's just how it goes. The future of ICE. Are they going to have a decline in their workforce and morale? Is that going to continue? What do we need to know? Hmm. Well, we have people working, you know, for the money. The money, I think, is what is the main draw. Um, but there's manipulation. Maybe I wonder is this saying that there could be manipulation with that offer of pay? Got to watch that magician card because often it can be about it can manifest good and negative. Let's just put it that way. It can be manipulative or it can be helpful. But right now it's looking like this job's most appealing thing is the pay. All right, so that's strong. But look, we do get the 10 of swords and it is paired. Ooh, yeah, there is a decline with the Five of Pentacles. That's the card I was curious to see. And that would mean to me, since it's come up, that there's a decline in morale and in mind and I think heart, if you will. I think the conscience on some level is being um, bothered about what they're doing, that it's so destructive and painful. I think this is also the fact that some people are actually targeting them, um, and it can be dangerous for them. These two together speak to both of those things to me, and especially the fact that it is a destructive, terribly destructive, painful thing that they're doing to people. And I feel like, despite the money, saying, get them these out of here. It's so stupid. These are the these people, by and large, the people that have lived here for years. They're not targeting criminals, as we know. They're really going after average people, and it's wrong. People that are contributing in a huge manner to our nation's well-being. I also think with these last two cards that I got, they are going to affect our economy. People are not going to appreciate that as well because rising food prices, people, the farmers that voted for you, that voted for Trump now are in financial crisis because they can't get people to come in and pick and take care of the fields. You just can't. So I see a decline here too when I get the two cards where we have the very comfortable card and wealthy card of the Nine of Pentacles that's independent and independently wealthy. And then we get the card of the Five of Pentacles, which is decline. And to me, this is somebody that can barely keep a roof over their head, usually homeless. Um, but in this case, sadly, it's immigrants, and they're just being shuttled like objects. There's no regard for their humanity. It's very ugly. I think that the toxic aspect of what they're doing is affecting them. And I feel like this low morale and mental aversion is going to continue despite whatever money they are offered. And there's a new energy opening up with the Ace of Wands and the very defensive Seven of Wands. That I'm sure is to do with the fact that people are attacking them. As I said before, I read of Border Patrol agents as well being attacked. So ICE and anyone dealing with immigration that comes down heavy-handed is going to be given the same medicine back. And that's what I'm getting here. And so they're having to be more defensive. There is more resistance to them going in there and manhandling people. Yes, it's going to become more overwhelming with the Ten of Wands and especially around the children. This is going to get to them. Page of Cups. Um, it's such a heavy, draining job. I think that the mood is very heavy about that. With the children, especially, it's a very confrontatious card. So their energy going in, it's not relaxed. It's not it is focused, but it's so hostile that I think having to go in with that every day is wearing the energy down too. Okay, within their officers. And especially those that have children. I think it's going to start to come through more so for those. Yeah, there's uncertainty with the moon, and there's also cover up, and we get the Two of Swords. There's uncertainty about what to do, about what they're going to do. I think they feel now kind of trapped in these jobs because the money, but it's not doing, it looks like to me, their spirit any good, their morale any good. It's a very intense job, and it's an ugly one. And I do think it affecting them, whether they want to admit it or not. And they're having a hard time deciding how they should handle it. There's also, I think, going to be more hidden aspects um, about their behavior that they're trying to keep from getting out to the public. I'm sure that it's to do with where they're headed for a raid and info like that. They want to be kind of cloaked, but I think they're going to have trouble with that. It's going to continue to be just problematic for them. The tower. We do have something on the horizon, an event here of that which has been hidden comes to light, and they are not going to anticipate it. It is going to cause a collapse within, I think, that agency with the tower. And it's because it's not handling things correctly with the tower. It's all wrong from the foundation up. And so there's a big reset button on ICE. And there's exposure on what they've tried to keep hidden, and especially their ability to get a drop, I think, on immigrants and locations. There's the bullying card, the card of just being cruel to other people unnecessarily. It's being over the top, going too far with the Five of Swords. Yeah, they need to reel in that brutality with the Strength card. They need to moderate themselves. They need to be more gentle. There's no need to be this militant because the people they're taking are Marines' fathers, um, that are not criminals. They're taking Irish people in. Um, this is not serious criminality. And they're saying, well, if we're coming for you, if you've overstayed your visa, like guns a blazing. It doesn't need to be this brutal, and it's hurting our nation, and it's going to hurt our tourism, um, and this isolation for America. It's really going to affect our economy as long as Republicans are uh, running things. It's not going to be good. We have the Knight of Cups and the Lovers. There is some sort of choice here that is going to be offered, I think, to them due to perhaps this poor morale and a lot of problems with people being too brutal, trouble, and they're getting lawsuits. Um, there we are with the assaults. Okay. And this could be, I don't know, this could even be a married couple that is going to bring some sort of something up with them. There is an assault in taking someone in. It's too rough. You can see it right there in the cards. I mean, the cards actually can pick up on things. It's really clear. We're not talking puppy dogs and kittens right here. I'm bringing up ice, and these cards definitely speak to their behavior. I think they're going to continue to meet more and more resistance when they try to manhandle people and take them, especially where spouses are concerned, with the lovers, you know. Page of Swords and the King of Pentacles. This Page of Swords feels like it's someone that's being watched or being very watchful here. Like it's recon reconnaissance type of watching, it feels like to me. I think there's also perhaps, and I'll have to look up, like, who heads ICE. I mean, I know what's her name does, but I need to look at some of the men that are actual agents uh, i- working. I think this King of Pentacles is one of them. Hmm, maybe. Or could we get lucky and it actually be someone that can do something about it, starting to survey them? Could be that as well. And it could be an independent individual that would, I feel like, quite possibly in this case, be recording them, getting record, if you will, of their behavior. Let me see what else I get with that King of Pentacles. And there's a shift with the Wheel of Fortune. connected to this male energy, looking maybe into things, and the separation, the movement, the tearing away of um, family from each other, the separation here, this very painful card of the Three of Swords, heartbreak, and physical movement where people are sent to another country. Um, big, big changes. This pain. So I feel like we're getting a card of a man that is either quite possibly, because we did get the Sun card about, I feel like maybe this is someone that is going to like investigate them, do an expose, because that's the energy here. And I know a lot of journalists are doing that already, but this one would have pretty significant um, shift in opinion with that Wheel of Fortune. And I think it would be showing a more objective picture about what is happening to these folks and what people in ICE say they're doing and think they're doing, and what, just more a truthy picture. All right, a truthful one. This has to do with defending yourself, boundaries. What's, to me, it's like what's legal, what's not, and they're overstepping it. And people trying to protect themselves with that Nine of Wands. Yeah, from having to leave so they don't get deported. I'm getting the Six of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. This has to do, I think, with the exchange of people. And I think this could be Gnome. Is it Christy or Kirsty Gnome? Let me just check on her. Yeah, I think this is Kirsty Gnome. She does have her moon in Capricorn. I mean, her moon in, was it Taurus? Yes. And then she has another significant planets in Capricorn. I'll put, no, not in this one. Next time I do an update on her, I will. But I feel like this is her and her, I don't know, dealing with, in connection to, I think, people being shuttled around to the CCOT. Um, Definitely the movement of people further away. And she's brought up as well. I think she's going to be exposed, continue to be exposed. Yeah, judgment. The people, the agents, and people like Nome that are giving them their marching orders, so to speak, and Trump, uh, they're going to be held to account for this. And they already are, because there's already lawsuits, many of them, that are being filed by people because of the rough treatment, the overreach, uh, and it's against human rights. And this is, connecting with the Judgment card. It's that violence that's around this. It's that directed, deliberate violence, rough, grab people, take them, send them overseas. You know, there's judgment, and it is coming for, I think, these that have been agents and people like Noam and then all the way to Trump because it's a problem. Yeah, I think ICE agents and that whole establishment is going to just have a huge headache. They're going to need help. And I think there's going to be scandals in with the people that are in high positions. I think there's going to be financial scandals of some kind, bribery, um, quite possibly, all alleged for entertainment purposes, theory only with the cards. But this can be the pro bono, not pro bono, but the exchange for some sort of benefit. I think there's corruption within the running of and the people involved. They also, I think, are going to need help because I think there's just going to be more and more people um, interfering with their ability to violently kidnap people and ship them off to Seacot or some other place. There's some opportunity coming here with the Two of Wands, kind of a critical touch point to do with children, I think, here with the Page of Pentacles and maybe the fact that we're looking further away. They're who's going to take care of them? They're this is creating a mess. We get the Queen of Swords here with a Two of Cups. I see this as a woman that's wanting to reunite people. And she's probably a lawyer, maybe an immigration lawyer. Um, and she might go up against, well, might be hearing more from various lawyers, especially this woman here, her case. It looks like we're dealing with a child. And it could be that she will be representing a child that's been separate from their parents. Yeah, wanting to reunite or bring together a family. We get the Ten of Cups, and this is the Eight of Wands. Quick action and trying to bring a family, I think, all together, no matter where they're at. So I see people within, well, not necessarily not within, but I see people working despite what ICE is doing that's so awful to try and help people. That's so heartening. Um, and I do think their own actions start making it harder and harder for them to go into work every day. Good. Maybe not all of them, but more of them. We get the Ace of Cups. There's a whole lot of emotions overspilling then with in connection to work with the Knight of Pentacles. This is the day to day. It's not fast moving at all. It's just what I was talking about, day in, day out. This is your job. It's so intense emotionally that I think it couldn't help but start to affect a lot of people. Now, I know a lot of them don't have much empathy, but I think whatever tattered bits that might be left may end up creating conflict within themselves, where I'm going to say I think these people are going to have higher incidents of drinking to numb themselves so they can do their job, this kind of thing, because I think there's a deeper part with some of these people that just being around the intensity of of what they're doing every day is going to bring them down and bring out just, I think, uh, it's wearing. We have the 10 of Pentacles and again a Page of Wands, especially children and extended family, activity. Well, especially probably when they try and break up large families with the 10 of Pentacles and there's children, because it kind of ties in with the other cards. And here we have the Emperor. To me, this is Trump. This is the authority. And he doesn't care. He's got the Four of Cups. He's numb. He has no emotional meter. He's focused on other things. And that's just kind of like on the periphery. He doesn't really focus. He's not present. He doesn't in anything really, except for when he wants to eat, golf, fart. I don't know. But the numbness. I don't think Trump is going to want to try and do anything more for ICE. I think he's going to think they get paid enough and he doesn't care what they're doing to people. So he's really disassociated. I think he thinks that's Kirsty's job. Um, Here we have work, something that's done repetitiously. And the end, we have the world, completion. I think this could be people that leave the jobs, could end the jobs. Um, to me, this could be people that stop working there. There's something that is complete. And the world, again, the talk, the travel aspect, doing that where you're sending people out far away around the world, having to do that. And you know how there's the Three of Cups. This could be partying, and we get the Hanged Man. I feel like to numb themselves and to change perspective and to switch gears. It's like they're in such a hyper vigilant guilt that's so aggressive. What did I just say? They're in such a hyper vigilant gear, rather. I think to switch out of it, I think the alcohol use and things like that come into play to kind of shift them out and put them in a kind of suspended state. Unless they actually get issues of people that are coming into work inebriated, they could get suspended or something like that. Um, I get retreat. People that are going to pull back with that four. And the devil. The toxic environment and what they're doing is so egregious, um, and causing trauma. I think it's actually even causing some of them trauma because they're in this intense group mentality that I see some that get ill. or maybe even injured because there's just something here that's so abusive of their power. And they could get targeted. They are being targeted. But you can't be in this toxic energy and not get ill. And to me, it's like, you know, you're you're from 0 to 60, so to speak, with like all that I would think adrenals, and every day you're going and chasing this is just not a sustainably healthy job. The aggro and the negativity, it looks like I think it's going to be causing illness, to develop. I think mental, not for nothing, these are swords, and they just want to have more peace of mind. They don't want to have to go in. I think more of them are going to drop by the wayside and just like I can't keep that up and go in every day and run after people. I do see issues, and I do see also, I think the aggression is going to have to be pulled back too, that they use. Um, at some point. I get the King of Cups and an Ace of Pentacles. There is something here. Something new. Maybe it's an incentive or an offer in that field. Could be somebody new taking over, a new job within ICE. Kind of feels that way with that ace. It's new. Um, yeah, and the three of, of wands dealing with communication with the places they're sending these people to overseas. Maybe this is Bukele. Could even be someone like that, or someone else across the water. There's payment. Hmm. More than one person involved here. The star. There's hope. And the King of Wands. Oh, no, no. He's in the spotlight. But if it is someone that, like a Brago Garcia, or somebody that's name is kind of the poster for being wrongly deported. I think this is something about a case here of him overseas and trying to maybe get him back too. That shows up as coming in up with ICE, the topic of ICE. These people that they are sending over, people trying to get them back. And putting those responsible, I think, too, there's a possibility with this card of the King of Wands and the Star. And earlier, when we had the Sun exposing them, I think some of them will definitely be doxxed. Okay. Well, I see a woman that's feeling like she's accomplished something. There's recognition for an effort. I'm not sure who she is, which one this Queen of Wands is, but there's going to be balance coming. There's an extreme. And we get the King of Swords. So for me, this is usually Trump, but this could be other, um, people that are in his admin. But I think regardless, it shows that this extreme is going to be corrected with the Angel of Temperance. It takes time and it will need patience, but it looks like what he's done um, with ICE and just in general, the extreme of everything that he's pushed in this country, it looks like we're kind of getting a message here of that is going to, through time and patience and efforts, be tempered. It is not going to remain so divided, so extreme. His efforts to make a mess. Yeah, here we have the lies and the misinformation, all of that stuff, gaslighting with the Seven of Swords, and we get the Hermit. People finding out very serious, outright lies, going deep with that Hermit, off the beaten track, and getting the information. And I think exposing issues within ICE and Trump and that whole setup. And Trump loses power, ICE is going to be definitely affected. Okay, Queen of Cups, plan, satisfaction, pleasure, Nine of Cups, and uh, this cruelty, this contentment. I feel like there's some woman that's working on, and again, it can be either, you can't really see there, the Queen of Cups and the Seven. She's trying to be patient, and I feel like this is probably again someone that's trying to hold ICE to account for their cruel uh, disruption and creating so much mess, of juggling and people, sending people from here to there, this and being very smug about it. I think we're going to continue to have them exposed to the point that that agency will be changed once Republicans are not in charge. I feel that there's going to be more spiritual leaders like the Pope here with the Hierophant, um, talking about the stability that's needed to be brought in and not this ego. I'm going to uproot you and create all kinds of chaos for the economy and send you away. I feel like the sanctity of families and the family home and kindness. I feel like the Pope is really going to continue, and other probably mindful religious leaders around the world, I think, are going to try to emphasize that kindness and how this lacks that, and how I got just the idea, that once again of Jesus and Mary, and they were immigrants and they were looking for a place so Mary could give birth, for God's sake. And I just feel like the people that are spiritual, even if it's very conservative, there's going to be an issue here coming up more and more with how they're treating people. And I think that someone like the Pope, especially him, because his family, his parents were immigrants, he's going to continue to work to point out the need to help families to um, they bring stability and not to disrupt that sanctity. Okay, what else? Okay, I think the past issue of birthright citizenship here with the children of the Six of Cups is going to be held on to, despite the fact that Trump wants to get rid of it. I think somehow that's not quite going to get shoved out, or it will be still considered valid. There's just something about that past children, and I got to think birthright citizenship, and this is holding on. Now, I know Trump could be persistent in holding on to his point of view, but eventually it's going to have to yield. We get, yeah, we get the chariot and death. So this organization is going to cease sending, I think, being active, rounding up people and sending them away. There's going this agency is going to get shut down eventually. Justice, I think, investigated, especially with all the lawsuits. They're going to lose. And that means the people involved are going to lose more significant aspects in their life for being involved in that, probably their freedom. We get the Empress, mothers, this is abundance, and, it can be greed. The Eight, no, the Seven of Cups, and the Empress. There's going to be clarity with the Ace of Swords and the Fool, especially where children are concerned and big risks that ICE has taken, where they've gone and themselves and crossed what is really legal in their own conduct and isn't. They're going to be in trouble because they've acted recklessly with this card, and this card's correcting it. And their secrets come out with the Knight of Swords and the High Priestess. They get an expose, and I feel like this agency will be investigated. It will end up being investigated uh, and being shut down. There's also going to be people within it that end up having health issues. I think a bit of PTSD from going out every day, and we're facing more and more resistance from people that don't want them to take their family members away. Tough crap. That's what do you expect? You got to decide whether or not it's worth the money. And I think some of them are going to feel kind of stuck because They like the money, but I think it's going to make them ill. Some of them, a significant number of them. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten the cards that way. And those that don't have those issues may have them, actually, and there will be legal issues because I think it, you're going to have people that are going to could be civilly sued at the very least that are agents. So this looks like a big honking mess. And I think it's going to weigh down this agency between the bad morale that's continuing to pull it down and the lawsuits and the hostility that they're going to face from the public. It doesn't look good for them either through the government end of it or their lives outside their jobs, because I think we've got also a strong probability of doxing. And that is going to cause a lot of anxiety for people. So watch that space. That's like a tinderbox. And that's what I see for ICE. So that is not going to be an agency that it will have to be shut down and a different agency created. That's what I feel. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there. If you appreciate readings like this, can you please give me a thumbs up? Thank you. All right. So at the end of the day, their agency will fold. There's just going to be a mess between lawsuits, illness, people, I think, claiming disability from working that job due to stress and threats. It just, ugh. And the things with children, people are not going to like what they're doing there. So, anyway, it's not going to be forever. And those people will be in trouble with health and in trouble with the law, in all probability, at the end of the day. All right. See you in the next reading.